Old School Bodybuilding Clothing Company. If it's been 3.5 hours since you last ate protein and now you're starting to freak out, you are old school. If watching someone sit on a hammer machine for 5 minutes between sets playing with their phone pisses you off, you are definitely old school. OSBBC.com for the hardest training athletes.
I haven't seen the sun in a week and a half. Look! It just came out! Look at that!
I love it!
And we're back for another installment of After Hours. I'm Dave Palumbo, and we're joined by a big crew today. John Romano, John Bravo, Greg Valentino, Mr. G, who's not in studio today. He's actually in his where are you actually, Mr. G?
I'm at my client's house. I'm his personal trainer, personal assistant, bodyguard.
Mikey, who you brought here, yeah.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, Mike. I pulled the front handle off the.
Oh, great! That's probably a $10,000 that handle you probably pulled off. And of course, Richard Rodriguez joining us as well as.
I did it so I get paid more money.
I've installed a few of those handles before. They don't just come off. What did you do?
No, John, I pulled it the wrong way. It's supposed to push in.
Evidently.
John, you know what happened, John? He probably got to the door. The guy probably gave him, the key, and he probably didn't have the door unlocked properly, and he was probably pulling and he couldn't get in, and he just pulled a little. Mr. G's pretty strong. He pulled too hard. He pulled the thing off. The question is, how did you get in once you pulled the handle off?
That's not the story. I come in the Kramer way.
Oh, the back door.
The side. So there's a side entry. I'll show you guys to the pool. Can you see the screen door here?
Yeah. I see.
See that screen door?
Yeah.
We see
That's
it.
where I come in, and then I'll turn around, and here's the pool right here that I train in.
Okay.
There's a guy on a golf cart. There's a putting. Well, there's a green of 5. It's a 5-hole. Not 5-hole. Yeah. It's an 18-hole course.
Is that why you got the fence around your pool so the golf balls don't hit you in the fucking head?
That's for the mosquitoes.
It's all screened in.
Yeah, everything's got to be screened in Florida.
That's a Florida thing.
Bugs.
Oh yeah, why they? I noticed they do that. Why do they do that?
Bugs. You don't want to swim in a pool with the bugs all over you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to Florida.
In Florida, you need air traffic.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are, motherfucker. You coming to Florida, man.
I have a massive pool
that
cage
humidity,
on my
I
pool.
can't fix my hair in the humidity, man. Looks like a fucking mop.
Yeah, you better stay in Arizona if you're worried about humidity. Jersey's
not
in
Arizona. In Jersey, I thought it'd be bad, but it's not that bad here. I'm shocked.
You are. I noticed you do have a little more wave to your hair than normal.
Yeah, there's you know what it is, because the humidity, it makes it a little bit more wavy here. Yeah. And Arizona was nice and straight, You
ever think about going for a different style?
I like the wave.
I've had this haircut, Dave, my entire life.
Oh.
I don't even know.
Wait.
I don't even know what I look like.
What's funny? You should actually have to shave your head to be part of this show, because look at all of us. Richard's bald, Dave, myself, John.
I have hair. He would be traumatized. I'm gonna tell you guys a story. There was one time with John Bravo, right? That my ex-wife
Fuck
and my
you,
son
Dave. Shut the fuck up. I know what he's gonna say.
My ex-wife and my son needed the fucking laptops that he was using for research, right? And this dude was just lollygagging, not responding to my ex-wife, not responding to my business partner, Owen. And it's like my mom, as psychotic as she is, and my business partner was telling him, like, look, we're gonna go to fucking AC and shave your fucking hair, you fucking faggot. And he's like, I just need to speak to Richard to confirm that I need to deliver these laptops. They're like, you son of a bitch, he's in prison. How the fuck is he gonna respond to you?
Listen, his mother called me so many fucking times. I had to shut off notifications because literally my phone would ring 20, 30 times a day. I couldn't get nothing done.
Well, why did you give her the freaking laptop back? I mean, it's his mother.
No, I did because you know what the problem is? His mother used to try to sneak some shit.
Oh.
So I didn't trust that that Richard actually said to send it to her, and then he said send it to this other person. So I told Richard, I go, Richard, I need confirmation from you, otherwise I'm not sending shit. And I was right too in the end, wasn't I, Richard? Tell the truth.
Yeah, you were right towards the end, but he was like, it's so funny because the times in which I was able to get on the phone, while I was in prison, it's like he's like, hey man, can you please tell your mom to stop threatening me, man? She's saying that she's gonna come over here and shave my head, man.
I got a question for you, John Bravo.
He's like the Hunter Biden laptop.
Yeah, exactly. John,
did you find any nude pictures of Richard or anything?
No, you know what? I thought I was gonna find some good text messages. I saw shit to John Romano. I saw texts to everybody. There was some good shit in there, but it wasn't like that much like sexual shit. I was surprised, but I wasn't looking for that.
That was a different computer for the sex.
Was he sending dick pics to John?
I had all his phones, all his computers, so I could see all the texts he was doing because he was using iMessage, and I didn't find any juicy shit. I thought I was gonna find better shit, Richard.
Well, the thing about it is too, it's just that he didn't have my when I was on the up and up, man. It's like I had 4 different iPhones. Dude. I had one for just one for women, and that one my bodyguard used to hold. So that one had all the dirty, nasty shit that you guys can only fucking imagine. And then the other 3 phones he had. During that time. But,
that's smart. Yeah. I didn't think Richard would let you have the good phone, Johnny. That you'd have so much material on him. Forget about it.
Yeah.
John, the question is,
you're going to say something.
I have a question for you, John Bravo. Your hair. Do you dye your hair?
No, I don't actually. I don't have much gray hair, but I do have some blonde, white hair.
I don't believe you.
Blonde.
I don't believe you because it's too perfect. It's too perfect around the sideburns there.
Well, what about
I dye it here by the sideburns because otherwise it turns blonde.
All right, whatever the case may be, you definitely dye it. Now let me ask you a question: How do you dye?
I fucking dye this shit.
How do you dye it without like staining your head?
What, Dave?
How do you dye it without staining your head? It's like you have a perfect line. What do you tape your face off?
I'm crazy. I'm very picky when it comes to doing.
I want to know your techniques. I'm asking you.
My eyebrows are actually really blonde too because I was blonde as a kid.
Right.
So like I would have white eyebrows if I didn't dye them. So I dye those too. I put Vaseline. If you put Vaseline, it doesn't get into the sides.
Oh, I'm asking you secrets.
Really?
Yeah.
But Dave, everybody says online that you put shoe polish in your hair.
Yes, I do. I do. It's a lot. It's a lot cheaper. It's a lot cheaper than hair dye, shoe polish, and it stays a lot longer too. Oh, it works great, and you get the brush and you can polish it too. You can just get the rag.
Dave, that's a funny you said
like a bowling ball.
Yeah,
Dave, in the 50s, all right. Elvis, when he was a kid, originally because he was dirt poor, he used to dye his hair with shoe polish. That's what he originally used. So
it works.
You got something in common with them.
Yeah.
Really?
I learned from the best, the king.
Never knew he had blonde hair neither. I never knew Elvis had blonde hair.
You know who else had? You know who else had blonde hair? Bobby Brady. Did you know that? From the Brady Bunch. Yeah. They made him dye it dark so he'd match the other brothers, but he had blonde hair.
You know who else had blonde hair? Greg Valentino. When he was young.
You did?
That's right. He did.
Wow.
Yeah, I did. My son had white blonde. Below your desk there. Yeah.
Jimmy the Bull.
I think I could have sworn I heard Jimmy the Bull like a grunt. Is he on
Jimmy the Bull's here.
Yeah, he's down there. I saw.
He's here.
Jimmy.
Put in my, I just got up a little while ago.
Oh,
Now that we're all here, Dave, are we going to
Gee.
play the What's Under Greg's Table game?
Yes, we do. Yes.
We're supposed to do that.
That we are. You ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Here we go. Jimmy, you want to ask Greg if think of something that might be under his desk and let's see if you guys.
I'd have to go get it.
Well, I gotta say, no, Greg, he's probably got a blow up sex doll under that bed too, under that desk.
Greg, do you have a blow up sex doll anywhere in the house?
I don't have a blow up sex doll. Let me think. I have
You gotta have something, a mannequin with the.
It could be in the other room too. That's okay. That qualifies.
I have some sick shit in here. I can show you. But I got to go to the other room.
All right, go to the other room. If you have it there, then that counts.
Yeah, come on, bring something.
like I have crazy shit, like stuff like you guys have probably never seen. You know what I mean?
Show us.
Well, show us. Show us.
If you've never seen it, I want to see it.
All right, well, while
I
he's,
want to see it too.
while he's searching, Greg, I mean, Jimmy, what's going on over there? You look like you're having like Mai Tais or something like that, you know?
What am I having?
You know, you look like you're in a tropical paradise having some drinks.
Beers.
Oh,
beers.
so
Looks like you're drinking beers.
Before Greg gets some, I've been training. I don't know. Can you notice it at all?
Yeah.
What do you think?
You're getting a V shape back, Jimmy.
What do you think, man?
X-Man.
Like you
Fucking
bet
A,
you
look at
guys.
that, huh?
You're looking
Oh,
stiffer than
yeah.
usual. I guess that means that you've been working
Bet
out.
you never wore a Chinese hat. Look, you ever see one of these? You know the
I
Chinaman hat?
gotta wear one of those.
When they pull the rickshaw.
You want to send that to John? That could be his new look.
Look,
I
it's
could
like
wear that.
You
I
know
would
they wear
that.
the Chinese hat.
That's a good hat.
I got a lot of crazy shit. It's in the back room. Let me think if I could ask my girlfriend.
So what, Dave? While he's looking for his sex toys,
Yes.
Wait,
I have
Jimmy,
to say that.
Jimmy, don't bring up that fucking extension for the dick that you did last week because you know how
Nah,
many people
that's
got
all-
offended.
that-
No, listen. So many people got offended. They sent me DMs like, John, you can't be making fun of people with the small dicks. It's not right. It's gonna come back at you. I'm like, I wasn't making fun of shit. It's Jimmy's invention.
It's an invention, right? He's solving a problem with
Listen,
society.
meant
like,
to help people.
see,
It's not meant
you
to
see,
make
John,
fun.
that's what people do, man. They go to the dark side. I'm trying to help people. Okay?
Yeah.
If you got a small penis, I'm making something to extend it for you so you can have, enjoyment with your old lady. I'm not mocking it or making it feel. People always got to go down the rabbit hole like that.
And
You
you
know
know
what I'm
what? I got to say this too. Jimmy's product also comes with a training program.
It does.
The wet towel, the wash rag.
Oh,
the
absolutely.
graduate towel, and-
That's going to be all in the video, John.
So you're getting more than an extension. You're getting a boost in self-confidence. And I think, isn't there a bonus video that shows you actually how to use it?
Absolutely. You just took the words out of my mouth. I have a video of me actually putting it on, and then after it's on, I do towel exercise and everything else.
There you go.
Wow.
Speaking of which, did you guys happen to catch Iron Rage with Lee Priest? And he told, you were talking about Caverjack last week. Did you,
Yeah.
John Bravo, did you hear his
No, I didn't see it. I gotta watch
Lee
it.
Priest told a story where he used too much Caverjack within the last couple of years, and he had to go to the hospital, and they had to stick needles into his penis to drain it. And unfortunately, he actually sent me the pictures, which I've been horrified by. It looks like a murder scene. And they stuck him so many times in the penis with a big 18 gauge needle that when the guy was squeezing his penis to see if he can get the last blood, the blood was spraying out of it like a fountain out of all the holes.
Well, let me ask you an important question, Dave. Now you're seeing Lee Priest's dick. Does he need the extension thing from Jimmy?
No, I don't think he needs it, but knowing Lee, he'd probably use it anyway.
But Dave, did he come?
No,
When
I was horrified.
squeezing it like this,
I'm
did he
nauseous. I'm nauseous.
Was he able to regain function though? Because
He says he's got full function. Yeah, full function.
Yeah, because my bodyguard had a similar situation. And what ended up happening with him, dude, he went to the hospital. After going to the hospital, they put this injection, just very similar procedure. Then after that, what ended up happening was he ended up getting a pump installed.
Oh, really?
His shit would have. Yeah, his shit stopped functioning. The procedure went wrong so bad that he now walks around with a fucking pump.
That's
Dave,
okay.
what you described with Lee was like a snake bite. Get the venom out.
Well,
Lee's
what happened
finally
was it
swollen
kept
now.
filling up, John, and they couldn't get to reverse itself, I guess.
I don't. You know what? I used that shit one time just because I wanted to see what it was like years ago in Mexico, and.
Wait, did you go to those whorehouses in
It's
Mexico?
it's an insulin needle. It's a small amount. I don't know how you could geese that much in there.
Because Lee said his friend brought it over and said, "Hey, I use this much." And he's like, "You're you're bigger than me, Lee. You probably need more." So Lee just took double, which was probably a bad idea.
Yeah, that's.
But Dave,
That's
Dave, let me ask
scientific.
No, but wait, Greg,
John.
Greg, before you say anything, he's talking about he's using it in Mexico, John, right? Were you using it in those whorehouses? I heard there's whorehouses. You go $50, you fuck all these hot girls. You come out with 10
Yeah,
women.
but it's fucking disgusting though, dude. I mean,
Richard's
at least
been
it's
there
not-
already. He already knows.
We tried going in Mexico City and it was terrible.
Dave and John, I want to ask you guys.
Actually, we came out. We sent Kevin Levrone in because we.
Yeah, I know.
He would have better luck, and he ends up sitting across from some pistolero gangster guy that was evil eyeing him, and he didn't speak any Spanish. He said, so he's slamming his drinks down to get out of there.
John, I got something for you, brother. Things are about to really get real at the Iron Bull's house. Let me show you. Oh yeah.
And Greg, then finish your story, Greg. I got to hear what you're going to say.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Well,
I cut you off.
It's a rare
we have a lot of personalities here today.
Oh, look at
Things are going to get real now, brother.
Are they really?
He's got a telescope. Oh, shit. Why would you need a telescope? Hold on. Why would you need a telescope? There's nothing to look at except lights and
Greg
stuff.
got a telescope. Greg,
because the lady that lives across
I got
big tits.
I know he's got a telescope back there, Greg.
We just sold the telescope yesterday, 3 times that size. 3
What are you trying to
times.
make me feel bad now?
Hold on, but what are you doing with the telescope?
What are you trying to make me feel bad
Are
now?
you looking at the fake lights in the sky?
You could shoot some caverjack into it.
Yeah, but the world is flat. What is he going to see?
Yeah.
You know,
The ice walls.
The ice walls? All right.
Yeah. He's looking for the ice walls.
Wait, Jim, hey, Dave and John, I got to ask you a question about the caverjack for a second. I know guys who supposedly used to shoot that shit in their muscles. Did you ever hear of that?
I heard people try. I don't know what it would possibly
So you
do.
have it because it's a prostaglandin. And
yeah, because it's a vasodilator. Vasodilator, yeah, it's a nitric oxide. It's
but it's very site-specific.
No, it causes vasoconstriction of the vessels, so it traps the blood in the penis. But it wouldn't really have systemically any use whatsoever. So when these guys are injecting it into their bicep muscles, it's not staying there. It's going into the bloodstream and it's being watered down. So
Dave,
you never heard of guys doing that? I heard about that a long time ago.
Doesn't work.
Dave, you ever remember way back when prior to pre-workouts and all that stuff, Vanadil sulfate? How people used to take Vanadil and inject Vanadil as a mechanism.
I didn't know people injected Vanadil, but I used to take Vanadil
That's
sulfate
a new
pills.
one on me.
It was like taking insulin.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Tell you,
shit.
when I get off this fucking show, I'm going to go in the bathroom and look at my cock. Because
Is that what the telescope's for?
Yeah, Greg. It's I'm gonna go across the yard and somebody's gonna film it with the telescope.
Actually, Greg, you kind of nailed it on the head. The telescope is actually so he can look at his neighbor through her window. That's all
That's
he's
what
looking
he's
at.
gonna be doing.
Like I said, the lady that lives across the street has big tits.
She's Asian.
Wait. Question for you guys. Did you guys ever do that as a kid? You ever took the binoculars peeping through the girls' windows and shit? I know Greg probably did. He's smiling. I see him down there.
No, my neighbors are all ugly.
No, when you were a kid.
I've never looked in nobody's windows, no, but I have seen. I have used binoculars. Yeah, we used to go on the beach and shit, and we'd see girls, walking.
Greg worked at a strip club when he was 15, John. He didn't need to look at anyone.
I took one of those girls to the senior prom. I'd love to find where she is now. I know she lived in Massachusetts, I think Springfield and Framingham. I have a real name. If you could dig people out. I took her to my senior prom.
Can you imagine, Greg, if you actually found her and then you found out you had a kid with her and she never told you?
There's one I thought I had a kid with. I told you ain't raising that shit. Give it to me. I'm bringing it to my mom.
Derek Anthony used to hang out with Lisa Lips. Remember, she brought him over to Dave's
to my house. Yeah,
he brought her over to Dave's house.
Yeah,
we had a lot of fun that
day. She
gave
Jimmy her panties. Remember?
Yep.
Oh, really?
Panties.
Who was the porn girl that we had at the fucking
wasn't Jimmy supposed to smell them and then say what she ate?
Yeah, but see, what Jimmy would do is if the girl was hot, he would say that she had like a chicken salad sandwich, and if she was fat, he would say she had like a taco salad or something like that.
Right,
taco salad. That's right.
Who the fuck was the girl?
Actually, I measured her breast right in the studio.
Oh, you did measure them. That's true. How big were they
at the time?
How big were they? Do you remember?
I forget what they were. They were I think it was like 40 inches round, right?
She had, big.
Yeah.
She was one of the first girls with the massive like boobs. Before that, even no one was even doing it back then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to tell you a funny story. I was in touch with her later on. I don't know what happened, but she used to live with a dentist, and I was going to do a barter system. I was going to sand all his floors in the house. He was going to fix my teeth.
Oh,
But
really?
Never happened.
What happened to that?
Yeah.
That would have been a great barter.
Just,
Obviously, it didn't work because you don't have any. Your
You
teeth
know,
is still
Dave, over the years, we've attracted quite a few porn stars to our
Yeah.
fold.
Yeah, what's
That's what I'm
Kim
saying.
Chambers?
We all worked with that girl.
Kim
What's
Chambers.
That girl's name?
Kim
Kim
Chambers.
Chambers, and then we had the girl who died, Wanda.
Oh,
what's her
Wanda
name?
Koresma, yeah.
We had her. We had Lisa Lips. We had what's her name? Muscle Elegance.
Well,
Denise
that's but she's
Messina.
that's not really. I guess it could be considered porn.
Hey,
Denise.
Denise is my girl.
Because she does it with girls.
Yeah.
That's a porn star.
Yeah.
Denise is a good
You're
girl.
fucking a girl with a dildo or another guy's. It's sex. It's porn. Okay. So
But wait a minute. Who's the girl, John? Who's the girl we all worked with at the fucking booth there? Was that the Chambers?
Kim Chambers.
yeah, her.
Kim Chambers.
Yeah, Kim Chambers.
And then what was the guy's name? Remember that he was a male porn star. We had.
We had and the blonde. What's her name? That got breast cancer.
Mariana Kumlos.
No, Detweiler. Melissa
Melissa
Detweiler.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah, we had a hamburger eating contest in the strip bar.
Wait, don't.
Oh, yeah,
Melissa.
At Vinny's.
I hope she's all right, right, John? Melissa Detweiler?
Yeah, I think she's doing much better now. Yeah, much better.
Because she was a nice girl.
Oh yeah, she was
Yeah,
really
my
sweet.
wife talks to her. She's got a
Oh,
kid.
good.
She's got a kid too. Really nice.
Oh,
kid.
does she?
Good for her. She's still with the
Beautiful kid.
same guy, right? That she was with?
Yeah. He was, I think, a doctor or something like that. Or
Not Danny. You're thinking of
no,
Danny.
not Danny.
I'm
No, she's
thinking
not
of
with
Danny.
Danny.
The
No,
bald
she's
guy. The bald guy.
Yeah, no, that was Danny.
no, not with Danny. I talked to Danny. Danny actually knows Ricky, Crazy Ricky.
Oh,
Ricky
really?
False. Yeah, he knew Ricky when he was a little kid. Danny used to run a gym, and Ricky would ride his bicycle there every single day. Like 20 miles each way. Imagine that. All right, I want to ask you guys a question.
Go ahead.
I was thinking about this on the drive over here. I wanted you guys to come up. It can be all through bodybuilding. It doesn't matter what year it's from. It could be from 100 years ago. It could be today. The 5 freakiest bodybuilders of all time. 5 freakiest.
Paul Dillette.
I guess Richard's going
Marcus
first.
Rule. Marcus Rule. Nasser El Sabani. Dorian Yates and Ronnie Coleman for me.
Okay, that's a good 5. Who wants to go next? Greg?
Dorian Yates was unbelievable.
All right, you want 5 freakiest?
The freakiest bodybuilders of all time.
Obviously, Victor Richards leads the top. I mean, he had the muscle that these guys, Big Ramy and all these big giant guys today,
Okay.
he had that back in 1981.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd have to say him. I got to throw Sergio Oliva in there. The guy had a 29-inch waist and had the amount of muscle that these guys today have.
Right.
Okay. And according to Schwarzenegger, he once said that the greatest genetics he's ever seen was on Sergio Oliva Sr. because Sergio Oliva Sr., I mean, that was built in the 60s. He had 22-inch arms with a 29, 28-inch waist.
Right.
I mean, it depends on what you call freaky. Obviously, Ronnie Coleman, you know what I mean? Especially Ronnie Coleman of like 2000, 1999, 2000 was like unfucking believable. Not for that, Dave. I'm gonna throw you in there because when
I was about to
Thank you.
say, Dave.
when you were fucking, nobody knows.
Yeah.
That I know because I seen you in person. Like I know you. When Dave was fucking 320 pounds or whatever it was, he had fucking veins. He was shredded. He looked like contest ready.
You have veins on veins, dude.
If you have veins in
on
your abs at 320 pounds,
300 fucking pounds. He was contest ready. And
to know how much McDonald's he ate and he still looked like that. That's the part I don't
And
get.
Blackman was in love with those meats, let me tell you.
No, but you gotta give.
He's like a dinosaur.
They love McDonald's.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
You gotta give Dave that credit. I don't care what anybody
Thank you.
says.
Thank you.
So, Dave, are you talking about? If you want to talk about
Freaky. Yeah, we're talking
We're
freaky.
not talking about Mr. Olympus
Right.
here.
Freaky.
Freaky. And by the way, Ronnie Coleman jumped from the last place all the way up like that. So people were like, "Holy fucking!" And back in 2000, in 1999, I was right there when he won the Olympia. He had fucking lines and everything. So you have to go with him. And I don't number 5 because I'm picky when it comes to freaky.
Jimmy Quinn. How about Kobach?
All right, I'll throw Jimmy Quinn in there. I'll throw Jimmy Quinn. Those fucking cannons he had sitting there was just he was a big mother. I also like Rory Liedlmeyer, to be honest with you. I have a thing with him.
He wasn't a freak.
He wasn't a freak though. He was like an aesthetic freak. Yeah.
But his genetic, he had that small, like streamlined waist with cannonball arms and cannonball shoulders.
Right.
And it's a freaky look. It's not too many guys that can these guys today have 23, 24-inch arms, but he had that shit with a fucking 30-inch waist.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's tall. So I'm just saying, or you could put Paul Dillette in there. Paul Dillette was definitely a freak.
What about you, Jimmy the Bull?
Well, I was gonna, Greg beat me too, but I was gonna throw you in there for sure because I hung with you back in the day, and we did a lot of shit together, and
so you guys were well hung.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So and I definitely like. I like more aesthetics than huge, but I gotta say, Dave was ripped too with that weight. That was pretty. That's hard to do at that kind of poundage. But I like people like Lou Ferrigno. I like his physique.
Yeah.
I like Barry. I know it's not freaky, but Barry DeMay, Bob Parrish. Those guys have.
No, don't go with aesthetics. Go with freaky, just freaky.
Yeah.
The freakiest bodybuilders of all time.
Well, I got to
Top-5.
say Dorian Yates.
Okay. Yeah.
Lee. He looked fucking amazing too.
Yeah, Lee was freaky.
Lee Priest.
Lee
Priest.
For his size, he packed on a lot of muscle.
Yep.
And his symmetry was unbelievable too. And I'm not saying that because I'm friends with him. I before I was friends with Lee, I used to, watch him and stuff. I thought he was freaky. And Dorian Yates, I got to say, Dorian Yates packed a lot of muscle on for his size too.
That's a good 5. John Romano?
Yeah.
Definitely Dorian Yates. I think, Dave. I think it should go without saying that you're in the group, and because you're in the panel, that just goes without saying. I
get a gimme on that one. Yeah.
There's no question you're in the group. So 5 is beyond that. Definitely Dorian Yates. I think for a couple of body parts, I got to throw in there Tom Platz for those fucking legs.
Yeah.
I was thinking
Joel Stubbs for that insane fucking back.
Yeah.
Ronnie Coleman, you definitely got to give it to Ronnie Coleman. The Barbarian brothers to me were not just they were freaks because of the whole package you got with them. Definitely the Barbarians and Billy Smith. Billy Smith in his prime was a fucking freak, man.
Was he? Yeah, I never really saw him in person. But
John, what about Terry?
He was 400 pounds.
He was a blonde Dave, really, honestly, 300-something pounds shredded.
I think he was more than that, though, John. I think he was 4-something at one time.
He was tall too. He was very tall.
Yeah,
so
it was
like you guys are forgetting one guy for the time, right? He was short. I don't know. To me, Franco Colombo always looked freaky because he was short, but he looked so wide. Even
he was wide. He was pinch.
He was
pinch though.
Greg hates Franco Colombo.
No, but I stood next to him many times. I was like, dude, I introduced him to Alessandro Savi. The first thing he did, I'm telling you, Alessandro was Mr. Italy, Mr. Universe, Mr. World. The first thing he did was he lifted up his shirt and started poking Alessandro's stomach. You know what I mean? Do you have that? And I'm like, holy shit, dude. What are you doing? Dude, he's a fucking Momo. I'm telling you, that's a
and
really.
He was strong. Franco was fucking strong too, Greg.
He is.
One guy that we didn't talk about, and I was watching a video on him not too long ago, like about 2 days ago, was Greg Kobach, dude.
He was
Greg Kobach.
That's a good one.
Well, I haven't done my 5 yet. John Bravo, finish yours.
I was gonna say, obviously Dorian Yates, Ronnie Coleman. Modern, I would say Rami. I'm surprised you guys didn't say Rami. I think for modern times, Rami is a freak. Palumbo, obviously. And Franco Colombo to me for the 70s, even though he was short, I just felt like his aesthetics, he was a freaky, he had a freaky physique to him,
Well, he was a power lifter, John, before he became a bodybuilder.
He had like a different look compared to everyone else on stage. Even though he was shorter, I thought he would look so thick compared to everybody.
The freakiest guys that I met in person, that remember, now I'm judging this from when I was big, when I was over 300 pounds. Kovacs was a monster. He was
yeah,
you might not have
400
had the aesthetics, but the guy was 420 pounds. I mean, he was inhuman looking. It was like looking
he couldn't wipe his own ass.
No,
I know one that I think you're gonna say.
Okay.
But he hasn't been said. Let me see if you're gonna say it. But if you don't, I'll tell you exactly.
Kobach is on my list. Lou Ferrigno is definitely on my list because when he was at over 300 pounds, like competing, he was insane looking.
Dave, you still talk to Craig Kobach? I know you were tight with him.
He's dead. He died.
He's dead.
Oh shit! Really?
I was talking to him when he was alive. Yeah, he was a friend of mine.
12 years ago.
Sorry.
He died.
I had no idea.
Yeah. It's very sad.
Long time.
I remember going to when he was at the Arnold Olympia one year, and I went up to him because I knew him through you know.
Right.
And I went to say hello to him, and he was at the table, and he had one of those portable fans on him. He was overheating.
He was always sweating. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
He never went anywhere without that portable.
Dude, he was at Bob Bonham's gym. He would be sitting there at the front counter. I'd be standing there, and he'd have his wife would put the fan on him.
Battery operated fan. Yeah. She bought me one too. She bought me one as a birthday gift.
If he had to go to the bathroom,
it took like 25 B batteries. It was so heavy, the fan, but it worked, you know.
Yeah, I thought that was the weirdest thing, you know, like he's sitting there with his fucking fan on him.
When
like,
you're 300 plus pounds, you sweat a lot, believe me.
Too. He was sweating. And I was like, you all right, Greg? He goes, yeah, I'm all right.
His wife used to go in the bathroom. I was at Bob Bonham's. She went in the back bathroom with him because he had to take a shit. And she would wipe his ass because he could not wipe his ass. And I know, Dave, you noted that. You noted that too.
He could wipe. No, he could listen. He could wipe his butt. She just did a better job than he did. That's all.
But still, I was right there. I'm like, why is she going? Bob goes, oh yeah, she wipes his ass.
Totally normal.
He was the biggest human being I'd ever seen.
Like that.
He was the biggest human being I'd ever seen.
You know, when I was working for Metrex, Dave, you know, one time he came to the office in Irvine, California. There.
Who?
And he went, Craig.
Oh.
Kovacs.
Oh.
And he went there for a job, I guess, you know.
Yeah. And
because Scott told me that he walked in the office, he was bullshitting for a while, and then he told Scott, he goes, I should be the Iron Bull. That should be. So Scott says, well, we already have an Iron Bull, you know what I mean? But, you know, he told me the story too. I talked to him later on. But
there's only one Iron Bull.
He's a good guy.
He wanted a lot of money from Connolly, from what I understand.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he wanted a lot of money. He did.
I would put Jimmy the Bull up there. I would put you up there.
Can I finish
Jimmy?
my list?
Yeah. Go ahead. I want to hear you say this one.
So I got Dorian, I got Kovacs, I got Lou. Okay, there's no doubt that those three are on the list.
You know, Jay Cutler was looking pretty good too.
Ronnie Coleman is number 4, and 5 is tough because there's a lot of guys that could qualify for that. And I'm just going through my mind and people that I saw in person that were just super impressive. I'll tell you something. You know who was very impressive? Although I wouldn't put him as the freakiest. Lavroni was very, very freaky in person too.
Very freaky.
But I'd have to give Ramy the 5th position because Ramy, if you see Ramy in person, he's very impressive too.
Nick Walker too is another guy I should have mentioned.
Wait a minute though. You forgot somebody I thought you were going to throw in. I thought you were going to say Trevor Smith.
Yeah, but Trevor wasn't ripped. He was big, but he wasn't ripped. Big. So
but he was 400 and fucking.
Yeah, but so what? But he was soft at 400 pounds.
Wait a minute. Who was that guy when we were working with MD?
I used to sell his products, Greg.
He was a great teenage bodybuilder. He was like 2021. He had a back, bro. He was tall. He had a back. I don't think he ever made
Trey
it.
Brewer.
Trey Brewer. Good call, John.
He wasn't freaky though. He just had a good physique. I'm talking about people that when you looked at them, you were like, holy shit. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about Mr. Olympias necessarily, although Ronnie and Dorian absolutely qualified because if you saw Dorian Yates walking around in the offseason with a sweatshirt on, he looked like a bat. His back was so big that the sweatshirt, there was no sweatshirt that could contain those lats. That's how wide he was. You cannot conceptualize. There's no human being on this planet that I've seen with a back like Dorian had in that offseason.
No, I disagree. Joel Stubbs had a better back.
But it didn't matter because Joel didn't have the whole rest of the physique to go with it. So
I'll tell you another
it wasn't as impressive.
Joel Stubbs' back, as good as Ronnie's back is, Joel Stubbs, he had the rest of his body was not good.
Well, he didn't have legs because he didn't
have any legs. But his back I'm sorry. I stood behind him
you gotta have, but John, you gotta have legs too. If you don't have legs, you don't qualify.
I agree, but you just said no bodybuilder on earth has a back like Ronnie.
I hadn't seen. I still to this day. I don't think you've seen Dorian in person enough to. Off season, when he was walking around with a big sweatshirt, he was like, he literally looked. You would think he was holding his arms out like this, but it wasn't. That was his back.
Wait, you said Dorian. You mean Dorian or Ronnie?
Dorian. Sorry.
Dorian. Well, you said Ronnie first.
Oh, sorry, Dorian.
No, I agree.
Ronnie had the freakiest arms I've ever seen in person, and you know what? Lee had great arms, but I'm talking about freak factor where you're just like. The person's occupying so much space in front of you that you can't even believe what you're seeing.
Yeah. No, you know what? The freakiest arms, Thierry Pastel.
No way.
You remember him?
I think
best two arms are Ronnie and Lee. I think
Robbie Robinson.
No way.
Robbie Robinson had 3 peaks.
I don't care.
Yeah, I remember that.
Lee Priest and Ronnie Coleman, best arms.
Lee Priest had the freaking forearms from hell.
Lee's regular biceps were crazy too. Right. For his height to have a 22-inch arm, come on.
You're right. Lee is the problem. Look, the problem is that category 5 is too few. There's I can list 20.
Who's Mr. G? Who's your 5?
Lee Priest, Jimmy Quinn, Dave Palumbo, Dorian Yates, and.
That's all he knows.
And Jimmy the Bull, because Jimmy the Bull and Jimmy Quinn used to train together, right? And Jimmy the Bull, to me, he epitomized what lifting is all like a fucking savage animal.
George, I used to train with Jimmy Quinn too.
I didn't have the size.
You know who is also very intimidating in person? Jeep Swenson, but he wasn't really ripped. So.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Have you seen his daughter on Instagram?
No.
She's like a singer and pull up Viking Barbie on Instagram. Viking Barbie.
Viking or Viking?
Viking Barbie.
Like the Pillagers?
Yes, like the Pillagers.
Yeah, Jimmy Quinn and Troy Moore also used to hang out at the club. So it was like the biggest bodybuilder and the smallest. It was like mini me.
Wait, you know what? There were just gym rats that were freaking. Bill Pettis in his day was freaking insane.
Oh yeah,
that's Jeep Swenson's daughter.
Oh,
wow.
Seriously?
Wow.
She's a singer.
She must have got a mother. No.
Now there you can see her singing. She's got some videos.
Look at that body.
She's got a nice physique.
Yeah.
Look at what her description of her profile says. Look at her description on a Viking Barbie up there.
Does she live in California?
Musician, songwriter, all-American dirtbag. Bane's daughter, Tony Robbins of Sluts. I love it.
Tony Robbins of Sluts?
Imagine if her father was alive.
Yeah.
You mean this girl's father?
Oh, dude, I seen her father in fucking Cole's gym fucking throw dumbbells like they were fucking babies.
He was over 400 pounds.
Greg, remember the time he beat up Tom Platz?
Tom Platz.
Yeah.
Why? Because Tom Platz was fucking dating him, I think married his ex-wife.
Right.
Did he do a movie, Dave?
Remember
He was
in Batman. He was in the Batman movie we were in.
Yep. I think she came to the gym the next day.
No, he was in the Batman movie after we were.
Dude, I seen he'll throw a fucking dumbbell like this across the fucking room.
Bane?
Greg, you remember? I know he was training there when you were there.
Yeah.
This guy from Poland named Pete. He drove the Salvation Army van, the white van.
Blonde?
Dog, he's brown hair. He was huge. He had arms that were like bigger than your head.
I don't know. It was a Polish.
No, he's from Hungary. He had
Poland, Hungary, it's all the same.
If I saw it, you got to remember, if I did a lot of it was like 81, 82. If I saw him, I remember
because we were trying to.
Here's a better one for you guys. Since you and Greg were in Gold's, who is the 5 freakiest guys at Gold's Venice?
Oh fuck.
Victor
Richards again.
Bill Pettis.
I saw Victor Richards in California.
Billy Smith.
Arms. I agree with John. You got to throw the Barbarian brothers.
The Barbarian.
They go together. They're one. Yeah, they're one.
Yeah.
They were monsters.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
Matt Mendenhall was in there. That guy Pete was
wasn't
fucking
big.
huge.
I saw.
How did
there's a few
Dillette
guys
look
who
in the
are-
gym? Was he big in the gym?
It was Dillette was
Yeah.
a fucking monster.
Monster.
Yeah.
What about the guy Aaron? The black guy
Just Paul
Aaron?
Dillette's shoulder
Batman?
width. His shoulder width was like fucking 8 feet wide. It's
Yeah.
like ridiculous. You're talking ridiculous. But you know what's
He
funny?
passed out one time, Greg, on the stage. He was.
Yeah, but that was Bob
That's
Bonham.
John-
was one
John
of the
did that
people
to him.
He got the cramps.
I did that.
No, he didn't have cramps. John over-insulined him.
No, diuretic.
Oh, diuretic, sorry.
Yeah.
But wait,
Yeah, they
John.
had to carry him off the stage.
Yep.
John
He
reminds
looked
me
great
of
though, John.
John.
They were saying it was diet.
Like stiff as a board.
They were saying it was diet.
He would have won the show
That was-
probably.
Bob Bonham was one of the guys taking him off. John, John will tell you, John's right, because there were guys who used to come at both worlds and golds who you didn't even know who they were. They were just these monster fucking guys.
Steve Marjanian and Charlie Aarons. Remember those?
Marjanian, yes. But you saw guys that you didn't even know their name. I saw an older guy. He used
Right,
to
but
train
we're not
with-
talking about just like big, like bulky guys. I'm talking about like guys that like blew your
No,
fucking
these
mind.
guys were bodybuilders. They were recreational guys who were bodybuilders. You know, they didn't compete, but they took it just as serious as any pro.
Right.
They were juiced out of their mind. They were walking on jack.
But of the guys who
Everybody-
looked like, you know, like they had legs and upper body, you're talking probably what? Vic Richards, the Barbarians,
Paul
Dillette.
DeMayo, Tom Platz.
Well, those Paul DeMayo was later.
Oh yeah, that's right. DeMayo trained there too, right? Yeah.
Ferrigno.
Matarazzo. What about Matarazzo?
Matarazzo. That's a good call, Georgie. Matarazzo.
Yeah, he was
a little
freaky
bit
in the
later.
gym.
I saw
Yeah.
him in
Billy Smith, Jimmy
A lot of
Quinn.
these guys.
I saw
passed away, man. That's a
Matarazzo.
shame.
Dude, when I was out there,
Shame.
Matarazzo had just gotten in trouble for kicking two guys' asses in the alley there. He beat the
They pulled a
shit.
gun on him. He took the gun.
Cops, the cops came into the fucking Gold's Gym and took my. Then a couple days later, I'm talking with him, and he was leaning on a barbell rack, right in the middle of the room, and we were just talking, and some guy comes up to him, and he's got his lat spread, and he's like, "Can I use that barbell?" And fucking, he looks at the guy, and he's like, "If you want it, come get it, motherfucker." You know what I mean? And he wouldn't move.
I got one other person, man.
And then the guy got scared of him.
Mike was a tough guy. Mike was
And
very tough.
Mike took a step towards him like
Mike.
this. Mike took a step towards
He
him.
wasn't
fucking
afraid of
ran
anyone.
away.
He wasn't
And
afraid
he
of
kept going
anyone.
like this to the guy, like blowjob.
Pete,
style.
I opened up Gold's Gym for Mike Quinn in Florida, and Mike was there. We did a seminar there together. When
You
remember
gotta
Mike Quinn
throw
opened
Al
up the Gold's.
Alzado in there too. But he wasn't a
Oh, yeah.
bodybuilder.
Oh
but
yeah.
he was
You guys
a
left out.
fucking
You guys left
freak.
out. You guys left out. Jean-Pierre Fuchs. Jean-Pierre.
Fuchs,
He
he was
wasn't a
freaky, but he
regular
wasn't
at
freaky
Gold's.
long enough, though. You know what I mean?
But he wasn't a regular. You asked for
Yeah.
a regular at Gold's.
Yeah.
Oh, regular. All right.
He meant. I think he was talking about the freaky.
Oh, the
guy
first
category.
question.
Yeah.
The first. You're
Yeah,
right.
the first
You're
question.
right. You're right.
Marty
Fuchs was-
Matulis. Marty Matulis.
Yeah, I didn't
But
really
you
know
have
him.
to go
well.
by era. though.
He
I
is.
mean,
But Greg will tell you, Dave. There was a period there in the '90s at Gold's Gym. There was 20 freaks in there at a time.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
you at
People
one
came
time,
from all over the world, John.
Yeah, they
all over
did.
the world.
Yeah.
But you'd have
Yeah.
Gary Stridham, you know,
Yeah.
Billy Smith, Jimmy Quinn, Tom Platz, Lou Ferrigno, Matt Mendenhall, Rory Ledermeyer. They're all in there at the same time.
I know.
Even the girls look
And
really.
then you
Even the
got
girls
and
look
then you
really.
got
Robbie Robinson.
Mike Christian, Flex Wheeler,
Mike
Paul
Christian,
Gillette.
every day, Mike Christian.
Well, there were
You know,
only
John, I gotta
big
say,
gyms.
John, when I went to Gold's Gym, you know, back in the day, the first time I walked in there, and I saw all these, you know, people training. Everybody was in great shape. You know, there was some regular people there too, but everybody, they were from all over the world, Italy, Sweden. I mean, I was so awed to be in that gym. And and the first day I went there, I was training in the back, and I saw Tanya Knight doing a photo shoot. Right? And I'm looking at it, I said, this girl's got an unbelievable.
You know what,
you know?
Jimmy? You're a psychic. I was just going to bring up Tanya Knight. I must have sent you fucking a psychic message because I wanted to, you know, I talked to Tanya and
Yeah, it was in my mind. I don't know why.
I'm telling you, I was just going to say that Tanya, you know, is underwent her last chemotherapy session and radiation session. She just got PET scan. She's going to find out, you know, if the cancer is in remission that she has.
What kind of cancer?
She's got something in her sinuses. She has cancer, so she's been battling. You know, I've been sending her a lot of.
Right?
She was a good girl. She stayed here for 3 days.
Cancer.
Oh, she did. She's awesome. Yeah, she's awesome. I love
You know,
her.
I mean, ask you something. That fucking cancer, it's like it goes anywhere. I mean, like, it's unbelievable. I never even heard of sinus cancer.
Yeah, you can have. I mean, and you know what? She didn't even know she had it. Like I mean, unfortunately, she waited a very long time because she didn't know she had it. I mean, so it was already.
What's that rapper's name? That's not rapper. Jimmy. You know put the lime in the coconut. The first guy with the dreads. Everybody. What the fuck?
Grandmaster Flash, not Grandmaster Flash.
No. The very famous one from the islands there. Everybody.
Bobby McFerrin.
You're not talking about
Bob Marley?
Bob Marley.
Harry Nielsen.
Bob Marley got cancer on his fucking toe, Jimmy. On his fucking toe. He had cancer on his toe.
the weirdest places.
But
man.
wait, the doctors wanted to cut it off. And he was really into playing soccer. So he said, no, I'll take my chances with something else, and did like holistic shit. And I think, I'm not sure if he did chemo or not. The doctor said, no, if we cut it off, you'll fine. You'll be no. He didn't cut it off, and the fucking thing spread and killed him.
Really? Wow.
So basically, if he would have let them cut his little toe off, he would have fucking lived. Google it. It's a fucking true story.
Wow.
Bob Marley.
I got a girl right here in the neighborhood, pretty blonde girl. She's married to a friend of mine, and she got cancer under her like skin in her face. I don't know what, and they had to remove her face.
What?
To
Oh
clean
yeah,
the
I've seen
cancer out.
people with cancer.
I've heard
the
of that.
nose.
They did it. They did it
Seen that.
They removed her face 3 times. Man.
Whoa.
Did they do a face
And
change?
the last time I saw her, she was down in the Huntington Village here at the bar restaurant, and her face was so distorted.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for her. She was such a pretty girl, man. And then she died, but
Oh,
3
she did?
times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 3 times, man. And she had such a good, her spirit was like, when you talk to her, she was uppy still, and I would be fucking devastated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
You
Greg.
guys have no idea.
Greg, you want to talk about you?
You guys have no clue.
Oh yeah. Well, I was telling you, Mr. G. I showed him those pictures you sent me about from your sister.
My sister.
Your
has
sister
the
is
rare-
my hero, Greg. She is unbelievable.
If you saw, she's been given her last rites over 3 times just recently. She's in hospice now, but she's at her house. She has holes in her back that are 4 inches deep. She has soft cell sarcoma that mutated into round cell sarcoma. She's one of only 5 people that ever got it. The other 4 are dead. She's had it for 11 years, but now she's at the end, of her. She could be die right while I'm doing the show. I thought she died a couple weeks ago when we did the show. I got the call. She's going to hospital. This is it. She's dying. So I left. That's why I didn't do the Lee Priest birthday party, because I was supposed to do that with Dave. But she made it through. But she has the worst cancer and holes in her back.
You showed me.
Dave, you've seen him. Mr. G has seen him.
I saw it.
Yeah.
She can't drink. If she drank water like this, it would come out her back.
Oh
if
my
she ate a piece of food, if she ate food, it would come out her back.
You said she's got the best. You said she's got the best attitude, right? You said
her attitude is so amazing that when they thought she died 10 times already, and when she left the hospital to come home to die, all the nurses were crying. They were writing her. They said we've never, because she's very good with it. She's totally ready to go. You know what I mean? And she's totally good with it. She's like, no, I'm good.
She fought that 11 years, Greg?
11 years, stage 4. You know how
the fuck do you fight cancer for 11 years?
Listen, you have bigger tumor is?
That's crazy.
You have bigger tumor is? It's over 30 centimeters.
Wow.
You have bigger than that. Do you know that they consider 4 centimeters like absolutely insanely huge? 4. She's got 30. Now it's bursting through her back, her skin. I'll send you a picture, Dave, at the end. You can show George.
Yeah.
It's
That's crazy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But her attitude is amazing. She tapes it up and she goes jumping in the pool. She's got a bag. It's not a colostomy bag, but it's a bag that has all blood and bullshit in it and food, because it comes through her esophagus is
It's
attached
like
to
the
it.
pus.
It's so bad. The bag is huge like this.
When you sent me that video, Greg, and that picture, I said to myself, I have no fucking problems. I stopped complaining because you know what?
Thank you.
She is my hero because
Thank you.
it's incredible, the attitude and the mental positiveness she has, given what she's going through with the length of time that she's gone through. And it just shows you the reason that she's alive after 11 years is because of her mental attitude.
That's the thing. If you knew her, you guys, you'd have to know her. She was built like a fucking fitness girl. You know what I mean?
She still has a good physique. That's the crazy thing.
She still has a good physique. She has no ribs left on one side. She's had 8 or 9 organs taken out of her, and yet she's still alive. They don't even know how she's still alive. You know what I mean?
That's called spirit.
How old is she? How old is she, Greg?
She just turned 61, but yet she looks young. She just turned 61 in June, so she's younger than me. But the thing is that her attitude. You ever watched the movie The Bells of St. Mary's? Okay, if you've ever watched that movie, in that movie, the nun had tuberculosis and she was dying, and nobody wanted to tell her. And she was the most popular nun at the school. Everybody loved her. And one priest, she kind of thought he didn't like her, was Bing Crosby. And he said to her, the nurse was Ingrid Bergman, and they were shipping her off to another school, another place. It wasn't a school. It was actually a hospital. They wanted her to work there.
Right.
And she was so upset. And she asked God, she said, God, why are you doing this to me? Why? I want to stay here. Please. I have hatred and bitterness in my heart. You must please take it out. I beg you. Because she didn't want to leave there. Those were her children. It was an orphanage. Those were her children to her. And in the end, they're taking her out, and she's going to cab, and she's going out. And Bing Crosby, who's the big priest there, said, "Hold on, sister, hold on. I'm not supposed to tell you this, but you have tuberculosis, and we love you here, and it's got nothing to do with that. It's that we need to try to get better." Now, that was the kiss of death. She knew that she had tuberculosis. She was going to die. All right. And she got so happy, and she was relieved. My sister, when they told her, listen, we can't do any more treatments, we're going to basically put you out on the ice. My sister was like, thank you so much, because she doesn't want treatment. If you said tomorrow, look, we got this treatment, it'll kill this cancer, she's like, no, just let the cancer grow. If the cancer right now is so big, it's coming out of her back. I mean, it will eventually. So
she's good with she's okay.
Dave,
with
I'll send you another picture of her today, and you'll be like, she looks like, when you see these pictures of India, people who live in India that got these flesh-eating diseases, and you say, oh my God, where their whole face is eaten off, or and you can see their teeth and the whole, she has that, but it's on her, it's in her back.
No one else would be alive right now, because no one would be able to function.
It started off her kidney, right?
Yeah.
And guys, forget all. I just did a video. Fuck all that vitamin C shit, and it's gonna kill cancer and all that shit. The Liver King, I just did a thing. Oh, only eat liver. My mother ate nothing but liver. If my mother ate fish, liver, kidneys, my mother ate organ meats and all that shit, and she died of pancreas cancer. Okay, so I couldn't save her. She ate vegetables and just the organ meats. She ate tons of vegetables. Don't believe any of that bullshit. If your cards are up, your cards are up. But anyway, what the fuck was I saying? The tumor's actually coming out. She lost. Oh, this is what I was trying to tell you. But you never heard this. She got the tumor on her kidney, right? It was so big, it was laying on her lungs. She thought she had a heart attack. They brought her to the hospital. Said, "Oh my God, you got a tumor. You got this giant tumor laying on your lungs." So they operated. They took out her kidney. They took out her adrenal gland. They took out all the ribs on her right side. That's my left, the right side. Because they took out all the ribs on her right side. They took out half her lung, because the thing was laying on her lung. They took out a piece of her stomach. They took out a piece of her intestines. They took out her diaphragm and made a brand new diaphragm. They made a diaphragm first. A man made that. They took out her diaphragm. They took out a one that was in her throat, but the throat's still there. And there's one other I'm missing. There's something I'm missing. But anyway, right there, that's 8.
Wait, Greg, how long has she had this for?
11 years, you said.
11 years.
So 11 years she's suffering like this with this bullshit. If you met her,
listen, a lot of people talk about you. If you met my sister, you would not believe it. She's so happy. If you talk to her right now, instead of like ringing the bell, she has a fucking bag on her. It's not a colostomy bag, but it's something like that. It takes food even out of her esophagus. If she ate
crazy.
a piece of cheese right now, you would see all of a sudden like the sickest thing, almost like her body's taking a shit, like your asshole's up here.
No.
And a whole chunk of cheese would just go out her back.
No.
And she'll go tape it up and then jump in her pool.
No way.
She's got a great attitude.
When have you ever seen
Dude,
nurses
we complain
cry?
about bullshit people like that.
You
Look what
complain
they're
about
dealing
your
with every
hair
fucking day.
dye not lining up on your head. You know?
Yeah. No, you're 100% right.
She welcomes death because she even said this is no way to live. You can't go on vacation. You can't go to the stores. You can't do anything. And she was supposed to die way back when the day she was. We thought this was it. Was the day of Lee Priest. The day Dave said to me, "Let's do Lee Priest." I couldn't do the show.
Right. And she's still alive, and she's fine. She's still going.
She's still alive, but she's in a holding pattern. It's coming. Death is sitting there with her right now. So eventually, one of these days, you're going to hear it.
Greg, has she told you anything had any near-death experiences where she's experienced anything from the other side or anything like that? Because she's been so close.
Funny you say that because I am obsessed with that. All right. And I remember when my father died, I was there and I was holding his hand. And, I remember just staring like this when he took his last breath to see if I saw something leave. I got to tell you, my sister has not said anything, but my father was telling me. I remember one time he was saying to us as he was dying, he was in the hospital. He said, "You guys want ice cream? All right, listen, go in my pants, get the money and go get ice cream. Get one for her. But don't get one for him." And I'm like, "Who?" And he goes, "Don't worry about it. You can't see him, but I can see him." And I'm telling you,
Greg, you believe in mediums, Greg?
I went to a medium, and one medium really disappointed. I went to a world-renowned one. Her name was Yolanda. They wrote books about her. Some stuff she hit right on the head, and other stuff she didn't.
So I want to tell you something. My friend Billy, who died on a bike.
Yeah.
My ex-girlfriend went to go see this medium over here in Ronkonkoma, and she was telling her what kind. She didn't say anything. She walked in, and I don't really, I'm like this with mediums, but, she was saying things that there was no way in hell. She said that Billy, she said she saw everybody wearing the same shirts at the wake. Now, how the fuck would she know that? We all wore these shirts that inchworm because Billy had built this bike and he called it the inchworm, and we all wore the shirts at the wake.
Oh, wow.
So cool. I don't know how the woman noticed. Then she kept saying that Billy kept reaching in his pocket and pulling out some kind of a piece of paper. So Denise didn't know. Because she didn't know what that was, but she told Kathy, my cousin who was married to Billy. She said the lady said Billy kept going in his pocket and pulling out this piece of paper. And Kathy broke down crying. She said when he was in the casket, nobody was looking. I stuck a note in his pocket.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
How the hell is that possible?
Jimmy,
I'll end on a funny note. When my father was the last couple weeks of his life, he was in and out of insanity essentially, and I was in the hospital with him. And I'm like, I was like, what are you experiencing? You seeing anything weird? He goes, this woman, she's driving me freaking crazy. I'm like, what do you mean, what woman? He's like, she's chasing me all over the place. I said, so what? I said, maybe it's mom. No, she's an old bag. Your mother was beautiful. I said, maybe she's older now. I said, she'd be in her 70s now, right? You're 88. I said, no, you think so? Like my father was so superficial about everything. Like everyone, if people don't look good, he doesn't want to be around them. That kind of thing.
Wait, Dave, if you want to hear something funny, my father, when he was dying, right, he was in a coma. Now he was done.
Yeah.
He was cooked. It was over.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and I'm with my sister and everything like that. And my father, like his heartbeat's going down, and we knew it. And I said to him, Dad, just go to mom. She's waiting for you. Just go to mom, because he was,
right.
And he was in a coma, couldn't talk,
right.
couldn't look at you, was totally like this. And this is a true story. Everybody talks about this, my family.
Yeah.
Because you have to know me and him had this fucking relationship because I'm the opposite of him.
Right.
Anyway, he's laying there in a coma now. All right. Hadn't talked to days in a deep coma. All of a sudden his eyes open. He turns like this, looks at me and goes, "Oh, Greg, shut up." Like that, and then turns back.
They
Those
say
are
before you pass, you have you could, that could happen. You have like this moment of clarity.
But he was in a coma though. He never said another word. He just went back like this. His eyes closed.
They say that happens. They say that happens.
My aunt was dying of something in the hospital, and she was like on the respirator, you know, and it's breathing, and she's like on her last breath. All of a sudden, she opens her eyes, she pulls the tube out, she jumps out of bed, she starts dancing around the room like a ballerina, jumps back into bed, pulls the covers up, and dies.
Wow. Yeah, they say that happens. It does happen.
It's crazy. It's fucking, it's nuts. My father used to tell me, there's guys that are in the room. There's shadows that come in. This is before he was dying. This is when and my father was straight. I mean, he didn't have any, read a book a day, everything, only cowboy books. But he would say, I see these spiritual things. Because my father went to church every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, in the more old school Italian. And he swore, because he was spiritual, that he used to say sometimes, I used to say, are they good spirits or bad spirits? What are they? He'd say, I can't make out their faces. They're more like shadows. He said, some of them are good, and then some of them are bad. He goes, but I know who the bad ones were, and I tell him, you have no power with me. Get out of here. You know, like that kind of shit. So I don't know if any of that's true. I don't know. But he didn't have dementia. You know what I mean?
Right.
He died of basically, he didn't take care of his guys. Listen to me. He didn't take care of, he had fucking diabetes. And it destroyed his liver and his kidneys, because my father was the kind of guy that ate fucking cereal for breakfast. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and he didn't care. He didn't. Right. He took insulin, but he didn't take care of his diet. And it went from the kidneys to the liver, to the kidneys.
Wow.
And that was it.
Right. Well, I want to just thank you guys for all this real honest talk.
Wait, Dave, there was one thing I want to discuss before we leave. 2 minutes.
Yes.
Ready? Last week, there was some controversy because when John Romano was asked about Boston Lloyd, he said he thought he wasn't a good guy. Now, me personally, I took it as he was talking about his online persona and what he preached to people. I didn't see that he was saying that Boston Lloyd was actually a bad person, because I don't think any of us feel that way. John, you want to touch a little bit on that before we go? Because there's some controversy. People are not happy with some of the things you said.
I really don't care what anybody thinks about what I said. My opinion is that his online persona, his online presence promoted dangerous, irresponsible behavior that hurt people. And that is not the actions of, that is not a good, it's not a good intentioned person. His own mother agrees with me. So she was on Dave's show. So Boston, the person, he was a lovable guy. We had him on the show. He was fun to talk to. He was, you know, I love Boston, the person, Boston. But whatever Boston was trying to do with 5 cc's and the juice and, you know, mega doses and where he's shooting it and all of the crap that he promoted, that was not good. That was not good.
I did a video talking about this. I just did a video, and I said how John definitely likes it. I know, because John has always talked good about Boston. He's entitled to his opinion, because in my opinion, all these bodybuilders are bad. You know, they're all taking steroids, and I don't think that's a good sign. I mean, we live in a dirty sport.
Well, right. There are bodybuilders who take steroids, but they're not out giving irresponsible advice. That's where I think John has a problem.
The very fact that I have to explain this on such a granular level is testament to the fact that there's a lot of fucking idiots out there that just like to look for things to harp on and
cancel culture, John.
It is, you know what? And it's sad commentary too, to realize that, you know, there's people out there legitimately with talent that waste it on fucking nonsense. And that's really a sin when it comes down to it.
And then John, there are people out there with no talent that wasted on the same stuff.
It's worse for the ones with talent.
Yes.
But no,
I just wanted to say though, I looked at Boston Lloyd, and I don't care. I'm so used to everybody being crazy. I was crazy, fucking dropping off needles, I actually had dust on a needle once. and I would wipe it off with my fucking grimy hand. And the fucking thing was like a fish hook, and I stuck it in me with no alcohol and everything. So I did crazy
Right,
stuff.
but you didn't go online and show people you doing that.
But Dave, you interviewed his mom. How far off was I in my summation?
No, his mom was very upset because she knew what he was doing was not good, and she couldn't stop him. And she had to. She said it on the show. She had to come to the realization that her son probably was not going to live a long life with what he was doing. And it didn't matter what she said or the doctor said or anyone else said. Boston did whatever he wanted to do. And but you heard the stories from her. The kid was the most compassionate kid of all time. He would save animals. He would donate money to charities. He had a good heart. He lost his way at some point. He was like a lost soul.
That's what I said in my video that I liked about Boston. And what I remember, what really touched me most about Boston, which you don't see with a lot of these other bodybuilders, is the fact that he was a homebody, loved his wife, okay, and loved his kid to the point where he would have gave away fuck bodybuilding to him at the end. He didn't even want to go to bodybuilding shows anymore, and I can relate to that. He wanted to have another kid with Ariella, and you know that he was crazy about that girl. And I just feel like that's what I remember him for, and that's what I like most about him, because I think everybody else is crazy. And a lot of these other bodybuilders, you know, some of them are married and, you know, they fuck around. I did. I had a great wife, you know what I mean? My wife was phenomenal. But, you know, I couldn't stop fucking around and doing crazy shit.
You know what, Greg? He loved his family, but he didn't love them enough to give up what he was obsessed with. And that was the end of, you know, that really cost him his everything that he wanted.
I mean, look, 29 years old is such a young age.
It is,
But wait, listen, I agree with you.
29 years old, man. It's
a
really
Derek
sad.
Anthony reboot, John Romano.
Yes,
right?
I agree with you to an extent, but I think with that, his mindset, and with all of us bodybuilders are guilty of thinking we can fix whatever it is ourselves.
Right.
And doctors don't know. My doctor can't even say testosterone. He says, do you take the testosterone?
That's what Mr. G says too.
Yeah, Mr. G does the same thing.
He goes, "Do you take testosterone?" And I'm like, "Yes." You know, because I have a separate doctor that does it for me. You know, as you know, my therapy shit, whatever you call it.
Yeah, but Greg, you didn't promote it. You didn't advise people to do what you were doing. In fact,
there was also John.
He said the opposite. Yeah.
In fact, Greg said the opposite. He would always, right, Dave? He would say, "Don't do this."
Yeah.
You know, whereas Boston was saying, "No, everybody, come on, let's do this." Yeah.
That's not who he was. He wasn't being true to himself.
Well, Boston didn't really promote that to other people. No, John, hold on. Boston didn't tell other people to do what he was doing, but by example, if you're doing it, they're going to follow him.
You're glorifying.
Yeah.
Like John, again, like what I was saying last week, though.
It's to appeal to other people. He's glorifying that behavior.
It was
absolutely not a good thing to do.
It was 100% unavoidable loss we could have had if he would have just.
Yes. But guys, you don't forget. Remember what his mother said about his mental health, and he wasn't 100%. So I don't hold things like that against him, because as a person, I knew him, and he was such a he
had defiance disorder. He would do the opposite of whatever anyone told him to do.
So
he couldn't stop. He couldn't control that. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
You know, back in the day, we didn't even tell people we were doing shit. We didn't
want anyone to know. Yeah.
Look, you have a platform.
I talked about it after the fact, you know, but
right. After, right. You know.
Much is given, much is required.
Right.
Yep.
We have a platform now. All bodybuilders, everyone out there has a platform.
Yep.
They got to use it for good. They got to be honest.
Yep. And
because you're gonna. This is the game changer. You know, beforehand, you have to be on a TV show or something. And again, you have a platform. You have to be honest. And by the way, be far better off if someone promoted God, family, and country in each one of the countries. People would rather see that.
It's responsibility, George. You got to promote responsible behavior.
Well, John, that's all out the window, bro.
Irresponsible behavior.
That's all out the window. They don't have.
But also,
honor,
don't forget something.
You know,
we live in a sensationalistic society. If you don't do sensationalistic stuff, no one cares about you. That's.
Well, I always told people, don't do what I do. When I was in jail, I was the only guy that was like, I'm a fucking asshole. Oh my God, I feel like jumping off that tier because I was on the top tier. I felt like jumping off. I said, if I hit my head just right, it'll be all over. Because everybody else in jail, I'm only in jail, bro. Because that motherfucker, my friend ratted, my girlfriend ratted.
Ownership.
Yeah, no accountability.
I didn't do anything wrong. It was the cops, those dirty cops. I'm like,
No
dude.
accountability.
Right, no accountability
whatsoever.
You ever want to find an innocent person? Go to prison. They're all innocent.
Hey, John Bravo, have you ever been arrested?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Twice.
Oh, all right. So you do belong on the show then. I thought maybe I think
oh,
everyone's
really?
been arrested here on the show.
You have to have a felony. Do you have felony?
That's true. Yeah.
No, misdemeanor. Misdemeanor.
I don't think George has any felonies, does he?
Gotta have.
I got arrested driving without a license.
You've been arrested several times, but you only spent like the night in jail, though, George.
Who, me?
Yeah.
And Nassau County is a maximum security. You can
and Dave, when he left, the jail was a better place.
it was a better.
Can you imagine George in jail? Holy shit!
He probably drove everyone crazy. They couldn't wait to get him out of there. You kidding me?
He would have all kinds of followers.
Yes, of
George.
course. He's like the Messiah in there. Are you kidding me?
I got my own big $1 million mansion.
He could have started a cult in there. All right, I got to wrap this up, guys. I love you all. Thank you for your brutal honesty today. I thought it was a really good show. I feel like I did a therapy session. So, and I hope people take away, some great positive messages from what we did. But we are out of time, and we'll probably, unless one of us dies, we'll be back again next week. So.
Dave, is the show
even if one of us dies, the rest of us.
That's true. We'll carry on.
Every day. As it's your last day.
Right.
Hey, Dave, are you moving the show there?
Unless it's Tyler, because then we'll have no idea.
Somebody dies on this show.